Hey there, Andrea Bordenka here. I wanted to just quickly invite you to a conversation on Monday called Meet the CEOs for the Institute for Generative Leadership. The Institute for Generative Leadership, otherwise known as IGL, was founded by Bob Dunham. He will be introducing us, the CEOs of all of the IGL affiliates, on Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll put the link in the comments. And Samir Dua, who is the CEO of IGL Asia, Maribel Gonzalez, who is the CEO of IGL Latin America, and me, the CEO of IGL US. And to give some context to who we are and what we're doing, so the Institute for Generative Leadership is all about creating generative leaders. What does that mean? So there's two paths in life. There's one, which is the path that we are on, that we have a certain way of being, a certain understanding and learning of what it means to be for me, a daughter, a wife, a mom, an employee, an employer. There's certain cultural norms, expectations, and familial ones that came from my family directly in the community I grew up in. So there's this path that I take certain actions and I'm living in a certain way that has been heavily influenced and shaped by my upbringing. And if I'm not aware that there are standards or expectations or norms that are separate, that are my own, then I could continue to live in this drift or this default way of being where this is what I was taught, this is how I should be, so I'm going to continue on that path. And then there's a component of quality of life that's not necessarily there. So there might be, I can't take this big step, or it's too risky, or it's not, it doesn't feel safe, or I was told that that's not the way that I should do things. And so there's this quality of life, like there's this certain things that aren't being tended to or taken care of because of what we were taught and because what we understand to be true based on what we were taught. And then there's the second path, which is generative. And generative is all about creating and designing a life that is aligned with what matters to us. And when we're on that path, that generative path, and many of you who are watching this are, when you're on this generative path, you notice that there are certain relationships that aren't bringing you meaning and satisfaction, that you need to have those hard conversations. Look, like we had this relationship, it worked out at one point, we've changed. If you think about divorces, quitting jobs, firing people, at one point perhaps we were aligned, but now we're not. So you're generating and you're having these conversations to get to the outcomes you want with intention and attention, because you're clear that there's something that's not being tended to or taken care of for your quality of life. So you're having those conversations to create that. So this can happen at work, this can happen in personal relationships, and in all domains, spiritual, financial, all of that. If we're not taking care of what matters to us specifically, individually, what we care about, then we can live a life of resentment, suffering, feeling like we're not understood, feeling like people don't get us, or they don't understand all of the suffering and my life is crazy, that kind of thing. No one understands. That might work for you, Andrea, but my life is different. So my background is I come from that. I come from this place of I had several addiction to alcohol, drugs, smoking, and work. And addiction's a habit. So I dealt with stress in very unhealthy ways. That was my habit. The generative path has allowed me to see that I can make these changes. There are certain things that I was not practiced at, like asking for help. Just wasn't in my body. I was the type of person that was able to do what needed to get it done well, but at the expense of myself. And so how would I cope? I would drink a lot of alcohol. I would smoke my cigarettes. Now I know how to ask for help because of the generative learning and because of IGL. The program that I was in is a 3-year program. I had a coach. So every one of our programs, whether it's a 4-month program, a year-long, 2-year, 3-year, has a personal coach. So the areas that I wasn't getting that fulfillment I would have someone to help me develop the practices to be able to shift how I was engaging, so I was getting different results. And because I had that strong foundation, because I had the 3-year learning and coaching and curriculum as a part of the program, I now am able to live my life in a way that fulfills and satisfies me, because I have good habits and practices to be able to generate that. So now I can hold the role of CEO, owner, chairperson of Desco Service, founder of Lead Yourself Youth, and the CEO of IGL US, because I'm able to take care of myself, build a team around me to fulfill a bigger promise that both aligns with what I care about. And also I have a team of people who, when I'm clear about what I care about, what matters to me, there are people that are like, yeah, I resonate with that. Because Andrea, you're clear about what you care about, I realize that that's aligned with what matters to me. So I want to partner with you in this. And this is in the culture of Desco. So everyone in Desco, we talk about what matters to you. And are there certain standards or expectations that you have that you're assuming or expecting other people have, but you're not having a conversation about it to make it explicit? So where are those conversational gaps that we can start to fill by having the right meaningful conversations versus reacting? So the IGL Meet the CEOs conversation is happening Monday, August 19th at 10 a.m. You'll learn a little bit more about Maribel and Samir as well, in our background and what we're declaring as our game for the future, and how this work is, the bigger vision is bringing this work of awareness and choice, intentional design into our mainstream public school systems, as well as our organizations. So if you're in education, if you're in a leadership role, or if you're not in a leadership role, but you want to have more of leadership and choice in your own life, come check out the Institute. We have all sorts of resources. So whether or not you sign up for a long-term program, we have blogs, we have live events all the time. We have people here like myself who are committed to bringing this work into the world, to helping people find what are those conversations that you can be in to get you one step closer to generating more meaning, value, and satisfaction for you, so you can live a life aligned with your bigger purpose and vision. If you have a question, or if there's something in your life that you're not satisfied with right now, send me a message and I'd be happy to share my observations, share my listening, and share my perspective with you on whatever question you're in. Or maybe I'll provoke some thought with a question that I can ask you. So sometimes the answers come to us when we're in the questions, not by thinking so hard about it or efforting through it. Sometimes just by asking certain questions, the answers come. So join us for our conversation, and I look forward to it. Thank you very much.